at first I was still in between. Like I knew that I was soft, but it was the people that was going up for the dramatic.
Right.
So I came out as dramatic, but it wasn't me. So you know, it kind of was like, okay, which way do I go? What do I want to do? Which way do I go? And at that time, it was a separation between soft and dramatic. And that night that Laura had got me, I didn't know which way to go. I'm being honest. I didn't know whether to vote dramatic. I didn't know whether to vote soft. And then, you know, they asked us what we wanted. And it was just like confusion right there. And I didn't pay her no mind. You know, I was just there. And I think if I knew what I know now or what I've known after that, that she wouldn't have had a chance.
Here we go.
You know, she was in the back. So she was behind me with all these antics, and I didn't know it.
Let me ask you this, because I've heard you say, but let me ask you this: there's been you and basically, if you think about it, it was only you battled Laura and Mika. Y'all were the only one that, as far as Mika would travel everywhere, but you was the one that, you know, you would battle them. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Do you feel like there was times where maybe they were shaded, or Allura was shaded, or that they should have, you know what I'm saying? Was there ever times you feel, looking back at it, like, okay,
you know what? It's funny you asked that, because there have been times that I would just walk up on the floor and just drop to my knees real slow and lay into a dip, and the ball was over. And I felt like, you know, I didn't have to do anything. And that's not me, you know what I'm saying? Because they just went up for that. And it just, at the time I was, you know, I was used to drink, and it was just that I was feeling it. And but I wasn't doing anything. Like when I can compare it to stuff after that, I'll be like, you know, it's totally kind of unfair. You know, like... No,
but the reason why I mentioned that, because I've heard you say that before, because, you know, and plus it's 15 years ago, it doesn't even really freaking matter, but this is me telling you, I feel like there was times, for example, I won't even say with you and Misha, because y'all had a different type of rivalry. Y'all can get on the floor. Y'all have very different performance, but very similar in some aspects. But like with you and Allura, it was two parallels. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like there was times where I feel like Allura should have got it, because Allura really performed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the great thing, like, you know, about Allura had an evolution too with herself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, she surely did. And you know, when I felt that Allura deserved it, I would give her my trophy.
Yeah, because I remember there was times like you would be like, well, girl, you know you ate that. You know what I'm saying?
And I'd be like, bitch, you really went off. And I would give her the trophy.
How you felt about the ball, the Legends Ball 2004, when it was like, after, it's like she finally got you, and the night, she had a little blue dress on. You had the black cat suit. She cut the fuck up that night.
When I look at it, I don't think she did anything.
I love that.
And the reason I say that is because...
Knowing what she could give, you're saying.
Knowing what she can give. But I can see where she got it, because she had evolved.
Got you. She changed it up.
She changed it up. And she was Mother Givenchy. Honestly. So it gave like, what? All right, bitch.
I got you.
Deserved it. You know
I know what you mean by that, because it was like totally different.
Yeah, it was
she was selling bodies. She was
totally different.
She had her little stunts in it, but it was okay.
Yeah, and she kind of, you know, everybody goes up for the shimmy, and she kind of gave you that, you know. So, that was two times that I think that, you know, they kind of, I would have given it to her.
Okay.
You know, one time was in the clubhouse, she was sitting.
No, you know, one night, I don't know if you remember, I think one night she should have definitely got you. You know what I'm talking about.
And Brooklyn,
she had
that's
the braids.
what I'm talking about.
She had,
no.
She
had the honey blonde bob.
Oh, no, she was eating that night. Yeah, she was voguing down that night.
Allura came.
Yeah, she vogued down, and I know you're talking about.
She vogued down. She vogued down. That I think that it should have been a confusion.
I got what you're saying.
Rather than a winner, I think it should have just been separated. Y'all both turned it, y'all both go. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Because at that time, I was on the winning streak. But Allura was fucking on that night. I swear she was. And She started taking it as shade when I would give her my trophy, because I remember that night I gave her the trophy and she threw it down back to the front of the roadway. And you know how I am, so I picked it up and went outside and I said, Allura, you forgot your trophy. You know, it was, but her and I had that relationship.
Right.
You know,
crazy.
Yeah.
So wait, let me ask you this. Still with your history in this segment. 2001, Selvin and Tazball, Mystique. To me, that will always be. And you had your moments. You've done. You know what I'm saying. You've had many of nights.
And that was one that I really loved.
Because it was like, to me, you embodied that you was Mystique.
You know, I watched that motherfucking movie 35 times.
It was like Mystique possessed you, like from the stretch and the moves you was doing with the prop and everything. Like,
she's always been one of the X-Men villains. You know, one of those cartoon characters that you wish you could be. You know, so I loved it. I loved her. And you know, from her voice to her poise to the way she moved to like striking moments. Like everything that I did, it was like those moments in the movie when you'd be like, bitch, did you see that? Wait, let's rewind it. Look, catch it.
You know what my favorite part was, honestly? My favorite part of that night was when you came out and you was on the floor and the beat was coming in. When you were coming up to the front,
when I was trolling,
and the people was coming up with you.
Oh my God, I was upset because I couldn't do anything.
And God rest her soul, Janice, I know you was close with her.
They were coming behind me, and the people in front of me were spreading out. Oh my God.
That's to me what balls are missing. I see very few people nowadays that can bring balls to their feet like that. But to me, when I think of girls that I've seen, like when Mika did Spider-Woman and Kevin, you did that. You know what I'm saying? And Shania Brand and Ashley. Those things I think are missing from Balls Day with people where you actually, it's like Michael Jackson stepped on the runway. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're so entranced by the performance, you lose yourself just going in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me seeing that night, I remember how the people was coming. It was like, I don't care who came out that night. You were so, you was Mystique. Everything about it was Mystique. And that was your second thousand. How many thousands you won in Ballroom? Because back then,
added up. Back then everything was 1,000.
Yeah, but back then it was big. You know, it's nothing now.
Yeah,
you know, that's nothing.
It's nothing now compared to straight. Just the category being 1,000.
How many grand prizes as far as like
3?
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
3,000 because it was one in Boston.
Boston, okay.
Yeah, Boston and 2 in New York. Everything else was from 500 to 7 or whatever. Just little stuff. But 3,000 straight.
Right. So let me ask you this: okay, so everyone knows you was a Vogue diva. What other categories have you walked? There's the people that don't know.
I've walked Old Way. I've walked Realness. One of my old times that I love is when I walk Face. Because when I first came out, that was supposed to be my category.
Why you never really got into walking Mug? Because remember the night you got Giselle and Tyra and them, you were saying like, why do you think you never really went deep into that when, you know, there was a time where you could have just branched away into another category. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because my focus at that time was Voguing.
Okay.
You know, when they stopped getting to the category, that made me drift into that. Because if you remember, after Mystique, I won Face that whole year. The St. Clair ball, that Chanel ball in Brooklyn, and but the battle had been that night. That night,
the girls, it was like
it was like the top notch bitches, and
did you gag? Did you win that night?
No.
Oh, you felt it.
Yeah, you know how you know, and I could say that I was just in the character that night. Like, you know, I studied Face, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like Portia, Octavia, what's her name? I'm not gonna say Tyra. I mean, not that she don't have face. Vanessa. You know, those were girls. Nicole. You know, those were girls that came, and those were girls that were the old girls. I mean, when the pictures was in black and white. You know, so, and that was one of the categories I love to see. You know, femme queen face. And, you know, Rose was my mother, so, you know, she got me into that, like, bitch, I gotta put it on, and they don't want it from me tonight, and you know, and then Vanessa and Misha was always at the house, and we was going out and stuff. Even Alicia.
Oh, from Brooklyn, Alicia Avenue.
Yeah, you know, she was like my little cousin. Well, I was like her little cousin because Diane was my aunt. But that's when the big girls that wore face was venturing into sex hiring.
Right.
You know, so, you know, and Carrie, you know, those are girls that, I hung with the old girls.
Right.
Like, you know, the new generation wasn't my thing.